Welcome back to another Wednesday on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your Wednesday host, Yucca, and this week the regular hosts are doing a Choose Your Own Adventure where we take one of the topics that the subs covered earlier in the year and go ahead and cover that. So I'm going to talk about approaching how we talk about our practice with new people, or perhaps non-pagans, or with people that we're dating or children or something like that for the first time. So, I don't really remember how the topic came up with my partner, my husband, who was not a pagan when we started dating 9 years ago, 8, 9, just had our 4th anniversary, but who is now just sort of, it just gradually happened, but you probably saw it on my Facebook profile because I put it up there. But for us, the communication's always been really important, talking about our approach to life, our beliefs, our thoughts, and through the time period, we have grown together and changed together, and a lot of our, we've been together for so many years that so many of our perspectives, through our conversation, we have come to agreement and conclusions together, and through that is how our family became a pagan family, even though I was pagan before, came from a pagan family. Or at least some of my family is or was. When it comes to discussing my practice with new people, usually I am not someone who says, this is what I am, this is what I believe off the bat. I am more of a listen to other people speak to begin with, and I ask a lot of questions and I don't offer up a lot of information unless that is asked for from me, because I personally am bothered when people try and shove information down my throat, so I try to give that same respect back. But when I'm dealing with somebody new, I try to, or not even new, just people in general, look for that commonality. So even when they aren't pagan, and often when they are too, because pagan can mean so many different things. I run into a lot of people who call themselves pagans, and it turns out that we have very different belief systems and values, but I try and search for those common threads that we do have and really focus on developing an understanding between that, first with our commonality before focusing on our differences. And I think that just to really know that person, that makes it easier to know that person as a person and really value that person before trying to focus on the differences that can often make us feel separated and drawn apart. For children, with adults and children, for me, I try very hard not to tell someone what to believe. With my own children, I do tell them about behaviors. As a parent, I go, no, you may not hit so-and-so, right? I do make boundaries and rules that are enforced in that way. But I do not tell them to believe something, to believe like I do, or to believe anything. That's not my job to tell them what to believe. I share my beliefs, and I say, now of course my children are very, very young, but I still speak to them like I would speak to an adult or an older individual, because they might not have, and being mindful that they may not have the context yet, but they do deserve my full respect, because they are full, true human beings and people. At this point, in terms of inviting them into my practice, I share. I share my beliefs. I share activities that I do. I invite them into the activities we have. We really, as a family, focus on celebrating the seasons, but it's always an invitation. It is not a. It is not an obligation. And at the end of the day, I believe it is their job to decide for themselves and live for themselves. And my job is to help, to provide, to guide, to help create that environment for them to grow and flourish. And that is the approach that I would take with other children that were not my own, were I in a position to do so, is to present but not force. And that was my take for the many years when I was dating. Now I have a partner who we have regular conversations with, but again, it's not my job to force him to believe anything. And the dialogue is one of the most valuable opportunities for growth, I think. So I hope there was something useful in that this week. We are going to have 2 weeks of subs for the rest of the month, and I will see you all again in September. So until then, take care.